Hey guys, so today we are doing a review on one of the most infamous episodes of SpongeBob, the Splinter.
Yep, the Splinter.
So, let me just give you a quick rundown of the whole episode. So it starts off with a whole minute of filler, and during the filler, SpongeBob's being a retard. He's like, and then that moves on, crap like that. And then his spatula gets stuck in the ceiling. So then he stacks up a bunch of stuff, and the swords just randomly happen to fall perfectly up. So SpongeBob, they're sticking right up. So SpongeBob does end up falling. He'll die. So then he gets the spatula back. His spatula clips through one of the swords, and he falls down perfectly somehow. And he's like, "Yay!" There's like being a retard. Then he falls and gets a splinter. And then Squidward's the one who progresses the plot by walking in and being like, "Oh, you're gonna have to go home early, SpongeBob." And he's like, "Early?" He's flipping out. And then Squidward tells all this, then Squidward talks about this for about 5 minutes of the freaking episode. And SpongeBob decides to call for help. And he goes out and Patrick's out there and he's like, "Hey, I'm Dr. Hat." And then he literally takes a hammer, hammers in the splinter. And it makes the splinter look worse. He puts garbage on it. And then SpongeBob goes back inside. And then Mr. Krabs like, she's like, "Show some spirit, SpongeBob." And he's like, "Okay." Then he shows Mr. Krabs the splinter. And then he's like, "Yeesh." And he pulls out the splinter. And then confetti pops out. Then a bunch of pus pops out. And SpongeBob's finger feels perfectly fine. And then he says, Mr. Krabs says, "Oh, I was almost worried that I'd have to give you workers' compensation there for a minute." And SpongeBob's like, "Workers' compensation?" And then Squidward's like, "Ooh!" And he bashes his head in with the freaking cash. He bashes his head in, and then he almost dies. And then Mr. Krabs like, "Your shift ended 2 minutes ago, Squidward." Then he's like, "Oh!" After finding out what workers' compensation is. That's pretty much the episode. And you may think I might be skipping some parts because I was explaining that for what, like a minute? No, half the episode's filler. First minute's filler, just all the Squidward's crap. Only 1 minute of it's actually important. The other crap's just him scaring SpongeBob some more, which doesn't even help the plot anymore. So yeah, like half the episode's filler. So I'm just skipping all the filler because I don't think you want to hear me talk about buns. Check. Oh, Krabby Patty. Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much all the filler. Just buns, check. Something, I don't really like filler when it comes to SpongeBob episodes, but one part about the filler in this was it was so bad, and you could really just tell they had nothing else to really put there, so they just put SpongeBob literally like opening up. Okay. So he takes off like the bottom part of his spatula, and there's a key. Then he puts the key in the side of his pants, twists it, and then a compartment comes out with like tomatoes, like lettuce and cheese. And then he's like, "Tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, check." And then he sticks his ass in the air, and there's buns in between his butt cheeks, and he's like, "Buns, check." Retarded.
Oh yeah, here's another problem with modern SpongeBob episodes. So every modern episode of SpongeBob is 11 minutes, right? If your horrible half-assed idea can't even cover 11 minutes, just scrap it. And the Splinter, half the episode's filler. So they should have just scrapped that halfway through, like, making it.
Yeah, because more than half of it's actually filler. Because in not half of the episodes, Squidward's talking about, like, "Ooh, you're gonna get sent home because of that splinter of yours." Like, that's not really how it goes. But I want to say, like, for about 6 minutes of the, 11-minute episode, he's just, trying to freak SpongeBob out and yelling at him, too. Yelling at him because SpongeBob put, the spatula on his nose and, shoved it in Squidward's face, "What'd you say?" For one part of the episode. So pretty much, 6 minutes of it is just Squidward, talking to SpongeBob about the most retarded stuff. Like, oh, you're gonna have to get sent home early because that splinter in your finger. It's pretty stupid, though.
Yeah. And another thing about the Splinter is here's what okay. So gross things like that, for it to be at least quote unquote somewhat funny, quote funny, is to have the characters more grossed out or in more pain than you. But the Splinter actually does look disgusting. It does look disgusting, and it actually sickens you. The characters aren't very fazed by it, but you are. That's the wrong way around. The characters should be throwing up for it to be somewhat funny.
Yeah, it should
They're
just be.
supposed to be more disgusted than you. If you're more disgusted than the characters, they did something wrong.
Yeah, because in most of it, everyone that sees the Splinter's just like, oh man, that looks pretty bad. The only person that actually overreacts about it, and by overreacts I mean reacts how actually someone should, is when Spongebob walks in, or no, not walks in, he shows the Splinter to Mr. Krabs and Squidward faints. It's like the only part where someone actually reacts somewhat normally to a giant purple pussing Splinter thumb thing.
Yeah, that's really all we have to say about the Splinter. Thanks for watching. And so recently, I was sick. So was Damien, and I'm getting over a bad cold right now. So if my voice sounds different and you hear me like sniffling a lot, it's because I'm getting over a bad cold and I was recently sick. So was Damien.
Yeah.
So hope you guys have a great day and hope you enjoyed the review. Bye.
Blech.